it up any better. Thank you, Richard. We are pleased to be back in Las Vegas. It's been a while. We're happy to be back here at the MGM. Thank you and all of your staff. Like I said, he set it up. We're excited about this fight. Unfortunately, the title fight fell off. These things happen, and they've definitely been happening to us lately. We've had a lot of guys fall out with injuries over the past couple of months. But like I always say, the great thing about mixed martial arts and UFC is we have the cards stacked so deep, the show goes on. Who's first?
If I can start with Brian, please. Brian, it seems like obviously every time you fight, we get the narrative of the war hero and the military background. Is there any part of you that's kind of tired of rehashing that story, is looking for a different narrative, or are you excited to continue to have this platform to speak on?
Honestly, it's never easy to talk about it because it always feels like I'm coming off as bragging about my military history, and that's not my intention. Being a president of a charity that helps veterans find jobs when they get out of the military, obviously it's important for me to continue to leverage the media I get from my fighting to raise money for that organization for the cause of finding veterans jobs. So I think maybe some of the hardcore fans get sick of hearing about it, but I'm not the one who asks the questions, so my job is to answer the questions. And I think obviously being Memorial Day, that was going to happen for this fight, so I'm sorry if people were getting sick of hearing it.
Fair enough. And obviously, Wanderlei Silva was the original target opponent, and he turned you down because you're this American hero. How do you feel when you hear something like that? And is there any concern that you're going to face that as you continue to come up the ranks? People don't want to fight you?
No. I think for every one Brian Stann fan, there's probably 5,000 Wanderlei Silva fans. So I don't think that was the case. I think, in all honesty, Wanderlei was injured. He didn't know when he was going to be able to come back. He didn't want to drag me on. And when you get to legend status like Wanderlei is, some fights pique your interest and some fights don't, and it didn't. And in all honesty, let's face it, I got a tougher opponent who's better for my career. I mean, look who George Santiago is. He's a champion, 11-1 in the last 4 years, basically undefeated, multiple belts, and I have everything, so much more to gain from this fight than I would have fighting Wanderlei Silva, in my opinion.
And for George, you mentioned 11-1 in your past 12 fights. Was this your goal to get back to the UFC all along, or did this just suddenly become the right time for you?
Hey, hi everybody. At one point, yeah. When I left UFC, I realized the big opportunity that I lost, and I was work very hard to get back here, and I couldn't ask for a best opportunity. Fighting American hero, we have to say that. We have to keep saying Brian Stann, honored to fight him. Main card and pay-per-view on May 28th, Memorial Weekend. So I'm very excited.
And can you talk about the difference? Obviously, a little bit smaller organization before, now you come back, you've got insurance, you've got Twitter bonuses, all these things. Can you talk about what it's like now?
Yeah, this is like a dream. That's why I'm walking here half all day. So everything will be like on Saturday, you guys gonna see.
For Dana, I saw when Brian was talking, a big smile on your face. It just seems like he's a promoter's dream. He says everything that you would want to hear. He doesn't really complain about anything and just takes any opportunity that you give him, right?
Yeah, he's obviously he's a great human being. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. And while he was talking, I wasn't smiling at him like he's my dream. I was smiling at him saying, this guy, he says it like it is. He nailed that one right on the head. I agreed with everything that came out of his mouth.
Is it a coincidence that he's fighting on Memorial Day?
I don't know. You think I'm that smart that we said, hey, let's get Brian Stann on the card on Memorial Day and play up the war hero thing?
I'm not saying you are.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Questions first for Rampage and then for Matt. Rampage, can you talk about coming into this fight as a heavy favorite? Is it more pressure on you to win this fight? And for Matt, if you could follow up, you always relish the role as an underdog. If you could talk about that as well.
Well, I don't know if there's more pressure on me yet. I haven't really thought about that, but Matt Hammer's a very worthy opponent. He's a great wrestler. He's really tough and stuff like that. I really enjoy being an underdog most of the time, but I just take fights as they come. If Matt the underdog this time, he can have the underdog status. He can have it. I give it to him. He can have it.
I've been an underdog for the last 5 years, and I who everyone wants. I'm just like a top of the world. And I just got it from my grandfather. He always tells me no matter what the podium, doesn't matter what rank or what world champion. I could go out and compete, and I love to share. So, like I said, I love to be underdog.
I know you're not a big fan of some of the rankings that are out there. Most guys have Rampage up here, Matt a little bit lower. But what does a victory mean for each guy, especially with the influx of what's happening with the light heavyweight division right now? I mean, if Rampage wins, is he in for a title shot? If Hamill wins, what is he? Is he in the mix there?
Yeah, well, to be honest, obviously Rampage Jackson is one of the best in the world at 205 pounds. This is a huge fight for Matt Hamill. Matt Hamill's had some, like you said, he's had some good wins. He beat Jardine, Munoz, Tito. He's had some good wins. A win over Rampage would be huge. This is one of those career-defining moments for Matt Hamill should he be able to pull off a win on Saturday night over Rampage. And Rampage is already one of the best in the world. Rampage gets through Saturday night, and yeah, he's in the mix for a title shot.
For Frank and Roy, you guys spoke on the conference call about the positives of fighting in your hometown. What are some of the sort of difficulties of fighting here? I know you guys both joked about sharing gym time and sort of overlapping each other. And Frank, you spoke about the lack of training partners. Could you expand on some of those things for us?
I think there's no drawback fighting in Vegas. If it was up to me, I would fight in Vegas every time. I've enjoyed my trips to other cities. I got to see things. I mean, I really was a fan of Indianapolis. I thought it was a beautiful place, but I mean, let's face it, I was born and raised here. I got my family, kids, they all come in here. It's my house. The night before the fight, I like the fact I'm sleeping in my bedroom, in my room, in my house, and I get to drive down to work. I find it pleasant, I don't have to sit there and worry about, well, what place is open, where am I going to get my food, do they serve this kind of just go out there and fight. I prefer it every time.
Yeah, fighting at home is probably the best just because everybody's, we're in Vegas. Everything's open 24/7. So you can go get burgers at any time of the day. You can get it at night. So for me, it's one of those things that, everything that's open, you can just go to. Sleeping in your own bed's always good versus sleeping in a hotel bed. But at the end of the day, it's the fans of Vegas that come here to watch the UFC.
He was asking too about you two fighting over gym time. Isn't that what you said? Yeah. There's been a lot of that. They've been fighting over everything. Trump colors, gym time, you name it. These two have been fighting and they haven't even fought yet.
Yeah, okay. Let's establish some things. I've been in the UFC longer. When I want to go to the gym, I get to go to the gym first. The only problem was actually Roy and I don't think cared. We sit there, Jess would come in, hit the cardio machine, we sit there, be talking before the fight. But then, Giff, he was like, hey man, you got Frank walking around, you guys are like buddy-buddy with each other, like, 10 weeks before the fight, talking about what's going on with other fighters. Let's build up some animosity, I guess. I don't think it worked, but, I don't know. Did you get mad about the gym time?
Just a little.
I guess it worked a little bit. I smirked about it.